Hi Dylan. Thank you so much for helping with my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, currently I'm a fourth year undergraduate student studying astrophysics.
And what got you into astrophysics?
Uh, it just made sense for it to be the thing for me to study, just because like the universe kind of is everywhere, and there's still so much that we don't know about it. So pursuing that knowledge, I think, it just makes sense.
Do you know when you first had ideas of going that direction?
Um, it was the my senior year of high school when I had taken an advanced physics course. That's what really got me interested in kind of learning more about physics and about the laws of the universe. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, did you know that NASA's planning to send astronauts back to the moon?
Yes, I did learn about that. I think it's the Artemis missions, if I'm correct.
You are, that's right. So what do you think about that?
I think it's great. I think it makes sense that they're doing this now. I like that it kind of contrasts how it was done before. In the Apollo missions, it was more so, the US was like, I guess, competing to see, which country was more technologically advanced and could get to space and all that. I think now it's actually the mission seems to stem more from like a genuine curiosity and testing like our capabilities of what we can do as a human society. So I think that's great.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome, and I think that's a good reason to do things. But how much of a role do you think China's ambitions have in terms of motivating sort of the push to go back to the moon?
Um, I mean, that definitely does have to play a factor, but you know, from what I understand, it doesn't seem to be kind of nearly as like publicized or as like like the relationship between the U.S. and China is not as like actively, I guess, hostile as it was back in the 60s, from what I understand, between the US and the Soviet Union. I do think that, I mean, yes, that does play a factor, but I do think that it actually does come from like we have the resources and people are willing to do this and people are dedicating their lives to doing this. So let's go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, back there in like the Cold War, Russia and the U.S. were like, big thing was having all these nuclear missiles pointed at each other, and
Hmm.
the conflict with China seems more economical and more
Hmm.
um, related to things that are local to China. The
Yes.
So, as part of us going to the moon and you studying astrophysics, is there anything that you hope that maybe we'll learn that will help you with your future research?
That we'll learn from this mission in particular. Yes, because well, I don't exactly know kind of what area of research I'm going to in, but I'm very interested in, solar physics and space physics. And I think having, from what I understand, the goal is to have people send people onto the moon and eventually establish a permanent base there. And, that would be, I guess, more efficient or less disturbed by collecting data from the sun than it is on Earth, because Earth has this, atmosphere that kind of has a magnetic field that affects how we interact with the sun, and the moon is, I guess, more so independent from that. And so I think that, from what I understand, that could definitely help in regards to that specific area of space physics.
And whenever you think about where all this might be leading to, if you were to fast forward to 200 years in the future, what do you think the future of humanity looks like?
In 200 years, I do think, I don't think we're gonna leave this planet anytime soon, obviously. Um, but I do think that we'll see within my lifetime. I would hope to see people on Mars. The base on the moon, being permanently established. And I feel like accomplishments like that do end up in a way kind of like uniting society because we realize that human beings are capable of doing a lot, and I do hope that kind of this pursuit of knowledge, this pursuit of pushing what we can do as humans, it can be like a unifying force, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like the more you're focused out there, the more combined you are, and that operates, on the level of families and teams, to like countries, to hopefully the world.
Yes, yes.
If you could, would you take a trip to space?
If I could, yeah, I think I would. Yes.
How far would you go?
I don't think I would go very far. I would probably just do, like an orbit around the Earth. Yeah.
Not to the moon?
No, I feel like that's where I would get a little bit terrified. I still want to be out there, but not to, still just kind of be orbiting the Earth. I think that's probably the most I could take. Yeah.
Well, those are pretty much the questions I had. Did you have any questions for me, or anything else that you thought might be good for somebody looking back on this video, maybe 200 years from now, kind of imagining, looking at what we were thinking about our future, their present?
Yeah, I guess I'm just more curious about this project of yours. Like, what inspired you to start it, and how are you gonna present it, or what are you getting out of it?
Yeah, so in 2019, whenever NASA announced that they were going to land the next people on the moon in 2024, they hired an associate administrator who oversaw NASA's plans to get to the moon. And in order to focus everybody's attention on that date, he had a lapel pin counting down the days to 2024. And he was going around NASA highlighting a NASA person that was getting us there. And for some reason, I thought it'd be cool to have a similar project, but interviewing regular people. Um, and so in December 2019, I set a goal of interviewing a person a day to the end of 2024. And so far, I haven't missed a day yet. And I have, a year and 3 months to go. I figure at this point, I should just go ahead and finish it. So that's sort of the situation there. And then in terms of what I'm getting out of it or presenting it, I have a website, countdowntothemoon.org, where I just publish them unedited. And I think after I get done interviewing, I might let it sit for a year or two, and then maybe go back and listen to the videos. And then maybe at that point, I have some uh, better plans, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds really great. Thank you for sharing and inviting me to be part of this.
Well, I thank you, Dylan. And anyway, good luck on your astrophysics studies, and I hope we cross paths at Rice sometime.
All right, thank you.
Okay, bye bye.